Và họ đánh hoàn toàn dựa trên những con Baron, những con rồng ngàn tuổi trong những tình huống mà Casa bị hạ hoặc là bị đẩy lui về. Và bên phía Flashwolf không làm được gì cả trong tình huống mà họ thiếu rừng như vậy. Và cuối cùng thì LCSU đã tìm được thắng lợi của mình tại chung kết thế giới ở một nơi mà có lẽ là nhiều người không ngờ đến nhất. Đó là Misfits khi họ thắng lợi trước Flashwolf. Và như vậy là cục diện bảng này đang có một cái sự phân hóa rồi. TSM 2-0 đứng đầu. WE là 1-1, chung số điểm với lại Misfits. Và Flashwolf thất bại 0-2, đang đứng cuối bảng xếp hạng của bảng này là bảng D.
Rõ ràng là TSM cùng với WE đang là hai đội tuyển vui mừng nhất khi mà đối thủ được đánh giá trực tiếp với họ, Flashwolf, đang phải chịu cho mình đó 2 thất bại.
Và nếu như muốn đi tiếp vào vòng sau là bên phía Flashwolf sẽ còn lại 4 trận. Họ buộc phải thắng 3. Họ buộc phải thắng ít nhất là 3 trận trong tổng số 4 trận còn lại của mình để hy vọng rằng họ có thể đi tiếp. Và đó là một yêu cầu không phải là dễ dàng dành cho Flashwolf với những gì họ đang thể hiện với cái meta này. Chúng tôi đã chuyển tới các bạn 2 trận đấu trong khuôn khổ của bảng D. Và xin cảm ơn sự quan tâm theo dõi các bạn. Xin tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại với những trận đấu trong khuôn khổ của bảng C chuẩn bị được diễn ra ngay sau đây.
But also in team fights against these super tanks.
But I'm also a little surprised by Caster's performance in this game. I felt like his impact was relatively low. The fact that Flashwolves did get 0 kills in this game was because they were very rarely the ones to start off these fights. They were rarely the ones to really get those engages, and they just waited too long. It was Misfits that was
Flashwolves, they need to go back to the drawing board, and I'd like to see a little bit of a step up from Casa for the rest of it.
And we actually are going to be able to. We are getting an interview with Maxlor coming up in this. Kind of your thoughts about his play from what we've seen, what you've seen in the split to now here at Worlds, stepping up, kind of the same. Is this what you expected from him?
I think that Maxlor, he had a lot of confidence going into Worlds. Something that you hear from him during the regular season is, I think that when I go into a game, I have to think I'm going to win. Otherwise, I'm already losing before we even go into Champions League. So every day he wakes up, he gets out of bed, and he just thinks to himself, yeah, I'm going to win today. And he says that to him every day, every single time, whenever he's going into a game. And I feel like, to a degree, there's a bit of British banter in there, but at the same time, it's also just him trying to get his confidence up and just keep his team motivated too, because they are young players, they are all very nervous, and for the team to get themselves a win today has certainly got to mean a lot for all of them.
I'm a strong believer in the fact that you have to believe you are the best to become the best. Exactly. Whether you are now or not is not important.
You manifest it, it'll happen. It's time now to send it over to Shox, who is ready with Misfits Jungler.
Thank you very much, guys. And I gotta say, I am happy to finally be interviewing an EULCS team here at Worlds, but I don't want to take anything away from Misfits and Maxlor. Maxlor, it is your first World Championship. It is your first win here. What does it mean for you to do this? And maybe it being the beginning of a lot more.
Well, firstly, I'd like to claim the trophy of winning the first game of EU. So G2 can't take that away from me, like they did playoffs, but fine. Secondly, it's pretty good. Today coming in, we weren't really shaken up from the loss yesterday. However, like I think we all gained more confidence coming in. We're more used to the stage, and it's pretty bloody cold there. But now we're used to it, so we're playing a lot better. Even though today we took the games, like they were pretty slow. I think we could have won fast.
You're right, staying humble there. When I talked to you yesterday before the first match, we had a conversation. I said, well, you know, you guys have nothing to lose, obviously. And you said, hold on. That's not something I want to hear. Because what's your perspective on you guys being here?
Well, I feel like any team coming to Worlds is here to win the whole thing, not just make out of groups or come in here as a learning experience. I think that's like you're making the bar so low for yourself. So for us, at least myself, I want to win the whole thing. And for my team, like all my players, they want to win as much as possible, not just come here, learn, like take a small vacation at Worlds, you know, here in China. That's not how it goes. So we're all eager to win, and hopefully we can make it.
You know, that's a trigger word for a lot of European fans. And coincidentally, this is the first win for Europe, as you alluded to. What do you think is going on? Do you think it's going to turn around now that you guys got your first victory? Maybe G2 will follow up?
Yeah, well, we had the thing, like when we went to a breakfast buffet with some of Fnatic or G2, we had a thing where it's like, the first team that plays from EU, if they lose, the next team will lose. So hopefully, like the trend continues, and now G2 will win.
All right, well, we'll see if that happens. Thank you very much, Max. Congratulations. Fantastic, huge victory here for Misfits at Worlds. And now back to guys at the desk.
Thank you, Shocks. They came here to win, and win they did in this game against the Flash Wolves. EULCS picking up their first win of the group stages here, and as Azael mentioned, the surprise is that it comes from Misfits of all the teams that are representing the European region.
Yeah, and we talked about the competitiveness now of Group D. You know, we saw Flash Wolves put up a very good fight against TSM. Misfits just kind of rolled over and died when they faced Team WE, but suddenly Misfits much more controlled, getting that composure back, and that's what's so impressive for me. It's their first time. It's a team full of rookies. They get blasted yesterday, and it's like, that's fine. Reset, play it again.
Right. Improvement is what we needed out of this team. I'm glad to hear that Maxlor said that he wasn't shaken up, that they're looking forward to possibly beating TSM on the 50-50. The confidence, right? You got to have the mindset if you want to make it. So I'm glad they find their place in Group D. Unlike PoE's Oriana build, but that's for another time.
Kobe, talk to me about the draft here, because the Trundle was locked in. Azael let out a thank you, God. Finally, we see it in the League of Tanks in the top lane. The Trundle comes out. What are your thoughts?
Well, the Trundle is the story of this entire game. This is how Misfits won the game, because, yes, they did make improvements, but there were a lot of mistakes for them early on in the game, too, around objective control, you know, and a lot of team play. But when you're drafting the Trundle, playing to that split push, they're able to get a lot of these outside towers very quickly, and the gold was definitely there for them, even though the Dragons almost all, especially in the early game, they did go over to Flash Wolves.
Yeah, huge props there. He not only flamed Horizon to his opponent, but he was also present in the team fight. So he's putting that much pressure into the side lanes while also being a big factor in the team fights against the Jinx.
And that's what we wanted to see out of the Misfits, to see somebody else step up besides Power of Evil. Was it going to be Hansama or Alfari? Alfari's been known to be a very mechanically strong player, and when you give him a strong matchup of the Trundle into the Cho'Gath, you can expect him to just pop up. And here he goes in the front line. You immediately just go into Trundle MD. Everybody else, sure, does a draw on the LT whiffs, but so far he gets to be the front line and just wreck base.
Yeah, Trundle plus Kog'Maw, just absolutely Cho'Gath's worst nightmare, right? They shred through immobile tanks like that, and he's able to even flash and create plays here with the limited CC that Trundle brings to the table. He's all over the place, winning side lanes, you know, flashing in for the team, creating plays, and getting a lot of that advantage.
Well, oh, go.
Oh, all right. But the CC is not just for catching somebody though. For these hyper carries, you can also separate them from a fight. You just pop a pillar if they're too far away and no longer can then participate. So Trundle, while it's not as obvious as a Cho'Gath or a Maokai for what they bring to the team fight, he can be quite underrated and underestimated, and that's a big mistake to make.
And what I wanted to talk about then was the Jinx pick, because Trundle was just Jinx's worst nightmare. You alluded to all of the hard CC and how hard it is for it to get out of there. Flash Wolves had the opportunity that they could have drafted the Galio. Like, you look back at this draft, it's literally Kog'Maw, Sejuani, Jinx, Gragas. There's no way anyone's ever going to expect the Jinx. Yeah, it's the Betty special, but you could have grabbed the Galio there.
Yeah, well, so then let me ask you this. For Flash Wolves, now sitting at 0-2, what's the solution, right? Where do we look for them to make a change or a fix where they can start picking up wins in this group?
It could be the draft, but Karsa has been underwhelming for me.
Okay.
Sure, the previous game was fine. The mid-game and late is still a problem, but Karsa getting so picked off was just not very impressive for me. This guy has been a pillar for this team for a while, and this is why we've alluded to the LMS region being weaker than in previous years.
But the most recent powerhouse for Flash Wolves has been Swordart, and I actually think that moving towards the Ardent Sensor meta or being more of these mage supports is actually taking a lot of power away from him. Thresh was his bread and butter, was the Flash Wolves' primary champion, and he's not able to play that anymore. So I think a big issue is Maple's underperforming while he gave up first blood, face checking that blue buff. Karsa's not having the same impact, but Swordart's also not really doing anything. Yeah, we had a great game on the Taric. Get him more champions like that, where he can impact these big team fights. Don't just put him on shield duty.
I want to ask a similar question here for Misfits. As, yes, they picked up their first win. That's great, but it still took